Right now, as you listen to this, your existence is almost mathematically impossible. Take your lifespan, however long you live, and divide that by infinite time. The answer? 0. You don't exist. Mathematically, you're nothing. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter if you live to 100 or die before you're born. Divide any finite number by infinity and you get the same result, 0. By the math of infinite time, there's no difference between a century of life and a single heartbeat. Both equal nothing. But here's the paradox that breaks most people's brains. You are aware of your existence. So what does that actually mean? We'll get into that. But before you're born, nothing. After you die, nothing again. Yet between these two mathematical zeros sits something so strange that science still can't explain it. Consciousness, your awareness, the universe's only method of knowing that it actually exists. I want to say that again. Without a consciousness to observe it, does the universe in any meaningful way exist at all? Like a tree falling in the forest. And maybe the fact that we can experience time is proof that time isn't actually infinite. The flash of our existence and our awareness, despite a duration that's unmeasurably short, is just enough to wake the universe out of its dark coma. Perhaps there is something up there, unexplainable, intangible, that actually wants to be seen. Welcome to the Fifth. My name is Paul, and today we're going to use this mind-bending reality about consciousness and time to completely reframe one of our most divisive debates, choice and life. Because if you can wrap your head around your own impossible existence, you might just see this issue in a way that cuts through all the noise. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine you're about to go under anesthesia, and the doctor tells you that it's going to take a couple of hours. You close your eyes and you count backwards from 10, and then you're out. And when you wake up a few hours later, did you experience those 2 hours? No, of course not. From your perspective, you blinked and it was over. You're up. 2 hours of the life completely gone.
Welcome to the observatory. What can I show you?
We're supposed to land soon. I'm the only one awake.
I don't understand. What can I show you?
Show me Homestead 2.
Homestead 2 is the 4th planet in the Bhakti system.
Right? And where are we?
We're in transit from Earth to Homestead 2. We will arrive in approximately 90 years.
What?
We arrive at Homestead 2 in 90 years, 3 weeks, and 1 day.
Wait, how long ago did we leave Earth?
Approximately 30 years ago.
Now imagine the same scenario, but this time the doctor says, see you in 2,000 years. And you close your eyes, and the anesthesia takes hold, and consciousness stops. And 2 millennia pass, civilizations rise and fall, stars are born and die, the human story completely plays out without you, and then somehow, impossibly, your awareness returns. How long did it feel like? The exact same blink. No waiting, no elapsed time. Whether it's 2 minutes or 2 millennia, consciousness picks up exactly where it left off. So I'm coming to you as somebody who doesn't believe in God, and I've tried. I've said before, I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic schools, but the relationship that I sought to find never happened despite my best efforts. And what I'm describing here, though, is that life, consciousness, awareness has a profound meaning beyond our imagination. And there's something magical about it, whether you pray to a creator or challenge yourself. And these are really difficult questions. Science fiction church mythologies, these both seek the answers to a meaning of life and endless and almost impossible discovery. Imagine you're driving down the road at an incredible speed, not just 60 miles an hour, but at the speed of time itself. And you want to experience now, that exact spot on the road. But to capture now, you really have to freeze time completely. You have to stop the car in order to conceptualize that exact location on the road, just as you would have to stop time to really physically be in the now. And as soon as you start moving again, as soon as that clock starts ticking again, well, you're already somewhere else.
I've always wanted to be a painter. Maybe have my work hung in a gallery one day.
I've always wanted to meet a painter.
Why?
I think it might be something to do with their ability to see beauty in everything.
You just have to see that it's wrapped in beauty and hidden away between the seconds of your life. If you don't stop for a minute, you might miss it.
Now doesn't exist. The future is in front of you. The past is behind you. So where do you exist when you're driving? The road behind you, that's your past, your experiences, your memories. It's real, it's solid, and you can see it in your rearview mirror. You can remember it. The road ahead, your future, your plans, your fears, your hopes. It's all there, stretching out and diverging in multiple directions, but you can't really see where it's going to all go. But that exact spot where your tires meet the pavement, that now, it doesn't really exist. You're always between what was and what will be. But as we age, the road behind us seems to carry more weight than the one that's in front of us. Our memories of our past become the life that we once had. We can relive it, write about it, and reminisce because life is winding down, and the road of us is getting shorter and shorter with each tick on the clock. Who we are as human is defined by the road we've traveled, the love we carry, the experiences we lived, and the knowledge that'll soon be all lost. Our life journey has a definitive start and an end, but let there be no argument that life begins when cells duplicate. We all know this. The moment of conception, the building blocks of life begin to form and coalesce, but the journey, well, that begins a little bit differently for all of us. So I want to know, what is your earliest memory? When did your journey begin? Mine, I was in preschool in the suburbs of Chicago, in Palatine, Illinois, out in Northwest area. And I remember this because, well, there was this kid at my preschool with this weird shaped head. It was like oval, and it creeped me out. And I remember playing on the indoor plastic slide. It was only about, 2 feet high. And the teacher had it in her classroom. And when Mom asked me about my first day at school, I complained about the kid with the oval head. And so that's my earliest memory. And, that's the day the car started rolling. And that's the day my story began. So, let me know in the comments. What are you thinking? How far back can you go? Imagine if you can transfer your mind into a new vessel, like a robot body or an endless line of clones. And these are designed to preserve your memories forever. Your original body is gone, it's buried or burned. Sorry, I shouldn't be smiling at this. This is kind of creepy.
I am directed to observe the situation. He's malfunctioning.
He is dying.
If you take him to your sick bay, will he be repaired?
Oh, yes.
No. They're lying. It's a trick. Dr. McCoy injected something into Harry Mudd to make him look sick. It's a trick to get back on board and sabotage the ship.
The request is refused.
Uhura, why did you tell her?
Because I want an android body. I want immortality. I'll live forever, Captain. I'll be young and beautiful.
You have been of assistance. We shall fulfill our obligation.
Thank you.
And your mind, your conscious is in artificial life. Your memories continue, but does the essence of you continue? Are you still alive? The science fiction fact is this. It's not science fiction, but it's a conceptual fact, is that the body kind of already does this. It undergoes a near total iteration every 7 to 10 years, cell by cell. So I'm 58, and by that math, I'm on my 6th body now. And the child that I used to be is physically gone. The teenager I was is gone. The young adult has been completely replaced. So if this renewal is possible naturally, is it really such a stretch to imagine it technologically? If the pattern can persist through biological iterations, can it be transferred? Can our essence be transferred from this body to something different? Now, many religions argue that the body and soul are fused and that this specific vessel that we're in now is integral to the journey. And at first glance, the body's constant renewal system, the replacing cell by cell, seems to contradict that, but I think it kind of confirms a deeper truth. It's not the specific atoms that matter, not the specific cells that are replaced, but the pattern that holds them all together. The pattern persists, and this pattern that carries our scars and encodes our memories, the etches, laugh lines that are earned from a lifetime of smiling. The body is a medium, but perhaps is the masterpiece. So would I still be me without this scar on my hip? I have a scar on my hip that I received when I was a very small child, when a scalding pot of hot coffee poured on me. I pulled on the power cord and took the coffee off the counter, and it just splashed on my lap. I don't remember it, but it freaked the hell out of my parents. But I still have a scar on my hip today to prove that event actually happened. And I also have this small scar above my right eye, and I got this one. The doctors had to use forceps to actually pull me out of my mom during birth. Apparently, I didn't want to leave. So these scars have followed me around my whole life. And also, what about our behavioral habits or our physical habits? So would you be you if you never needed a drink to wind down at the end of the day or a hot cup of coffee in the morning? I submit that I would not. And then the psychological pain that we experience through our lives goes deeper than the emotional scars. So painful events can actually rewire our brain. It changes the brain development, rewires neural pathways to avoid pain, and also chronic stress can suppress the immune system. That occasional soreness in your neck is a possible response to a danger that you might not even be aware of. So now, while you're thinking about your earliest memory and when your car started rolling down the road, I want to talk a little bit about when it stops. For some, after life, your soul is reunited with its creator, and for others, life ends in the same way as before. So in both, The car that provides the journey, it's gone. And the only thing that's left are the memories of your journey and the other people who knew who you were. So people who shared in your journey carry the profound weight of your loss, and your contributions to their lives, their thoughts, their experiences, are all that's left of who you were. The car is gone, but the path that it wore lives on in others' memories. So we mourn the loss, and we ceremonialize their life in cultural rituals to pay respect to who they were, right? And we also want to share how these people impacted our lives. Spiritual and therapeutic rituals allow us to deal with the emotional burden of loss, and the ability to kneel and pray towards the preservation of their memory allows us to stay connected to somebody who's now gone forever. So my brother died when I was only 6 years old. It's a memory that I can't forget, and I don't really want to. And his gravestone, it's located in Palatine, where I grew up. And it's about a 3-hour flight. I live in Denver, Colorado, and his memorial sits empty and lonely most of the time. And this is kind of a loneliness that I wish that I could purge. But when I can get out there, I'll place a beer on top of his tombstone, and I'll crack one open for myself and sit there cross-legged and have a conversation with somebody who I know is not really there anymore. And I do wish that his journey could continue alongside me. I wonder about what the conversations him and I might have had when we grew up together. But unfortunately, I was only 6 years old when he died. But I appreciate those few opportunities. And his grave is there for me and my parents to heal. But it's not there for him. And this is where I start to think. I start to ponder. The needs of the living and our ability to heal, our ability to pray, versus our legal system. We've built this elaborate framework that legally protects the wishes of people who no longer exist, instead of protecting the wishes of those who are actually still alive. So, for example, consider this. If a deceased person specifies a burial in their will, but a family member wants to relocate their remains for practical reasons. Maybe they, like myself, moved across the country. Maybe they can't afford to put them in the ground where they requested. And despite these roadblocks or requests, the law typically sides with the dead person's preferences. Court orders, permits, legal battles. The system protects the wishes of people that can no longer be experienced by them because they're gone. But, don't misunderstand me. There is a very therapeutic value in honoring what somebody wanted in their life. Following their final wishes can be a part of the healing process, but from a purely legal standpoint, we're enforcing autonomous decisions of people whose consciousness is no longer there. It no longer exists. So, and why is that?
I love you, Molly. I've always loved you.
Ditto.
It's amazing, Molly. The love inside, you take it with you.
And I'll give you my perspective, but I want to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. I believe that the purpose behind the legal framework is built upon a moral foundation, one that's highly rooted in religious doctrine and one that recognizes in death a need to protect the soul of the dead. And you don't need to be religious to appreciate this. We actually celebrate the dead every year when we hand out candy to those who just started their journey, the young kids in their costumes. And in China, they burn ghost money, and they leave food offerings to create certain wealth for their lost loved ones. Haunted houses and horror movies draw on our instincts to protect the interests of the dead. Be good or else. The dead haunt us in our dreams, and they seem to impact our waking hours as we could swear we were visited by them. It's creepy. In my first grade classroom, there was a food pyramid poster, and above that, there was another poster in green, yellow, and it asked it said, "What is life?" You know, it was early biology, right? Now, we can debate when human life begins, but let's be clear that what begins at conception, by the most basic biological definition that we learned as kids, it grows, it uses energy, it duplicates, it's new, it's unique, and it's a living organism. It's begun the process. Life has begun the process, and this is not a metaphor. The ingredients are on the kitchen counter. The cake you're about to bake. It's an assembly of a specific one-kind journey that is actually started. You know, I remember every Halloween, my mom would make a pumpkin pie. And she'd put the ingredients on the counter. She'd have the flour for the crust. She'd buy pumpkins and cut them into pieces. She liked to do everything from scratch. And the kitchen counter was completely full and dirty with cinnamon, sugar, flour everywhere, milk and eggs. And I'd pull on her apron and I'd say, "Mom, what are you making?" And she'd say, "Pumpkin pie, honey." And "Can I help?" No. But she never once told me that, "Oh, this is all just a concoction of ingredients that have yet to be assembled into a pumpkin pie." What she was making was a pumpkin pie. Life begins, and you know, that car that'll eventually travel on that road of life is beginning its assembly. So when is it a car? Is it the first bolt? Or is it a car when it's fully assembled? "Mom, what are you making?" "German chocolate cake." "Your favorite." That was my favorite. And so let's ask the question then, and be honest with ourselves, when is a human a human?
Okay, General, I want to show you something here. This is a normal human DNA chain, okay? You, me, anybody, right? Watch this. The compositional elements of his DNA chain are the same as ours. There's simply more of them, tightly packed with infinite genetic knowledge, almost like this being was engineered.
Reconstruction complete.
Remove the shield.
And the fundamental answer, I believe, is at conception. The ingredients for human are on the counter, and the assembly process has begun. So now we have this paradox. We're fleeting flashes of awareness in an infinite cosmos. And we honor the echoes of those completed journeys with graves, rituals, and legal protections. We understand the value of a life and its lived experience. And this leads to what I think is the most difficult question. If we attribute such immense value to the echo of a completed journey, what value do we assign to the potential for a journey that's not yet begun? Scientifically, there's really no debate. At conception, a new, unique living organism of the human species begins its assembly. It's not a potential human. It is a human. And its earliest potential. It has the entire genetic blueprint for a future journey. The ingredients are on the counter. The assembly of a one-of-a-kind pattern has begun. Certain ideologies often use terms like a clump of cells or a fetus. And I understand this. I understand that it's a way to manage an impossible decision, a difficult decision. But from a secular philosophical standpoint, these terms describe a stage of development. They're not a denial of what's actually there. It is a living entity on the trajectory of becoming an actual person. To end its life is to stop that trajectory and end the potential.
Oh, where are we?
Welcome to Baby Core.
Whoa! No way!
Thank you.
What? This is where babies come from?
Where'd you think? The Cabbage Patch? Magic fairies?
No, my parents told me that.
What? Oh, no. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it didn't sound right to me either. So how come I don't remember this place?
Oh, you did? But after normal babies get their pacifiers taken away, you forget all about Baby Core.
How come you're not normal?
Well, a few of us, the best of the best, are selected for the ultimate honor.
Does the fact that consciousness hasn't developed actually matter? And this is the heart of it. Does it matter? Now, from the perspective of the entity itself, no. As we've learned from anesthesia thought experiment, without consciousness, well, there's no experience of time or loss, so the fetus feels nothing. But the question isn't about what it feels. It's about what we, as human beings, are responsible for preventing. So we don't value a book only when the first chapter is read. We value it for a story that's contained in those pages of the book. We don't value a symphony only when its first note is played. We value it for the music that's written in the score. Ending a journey before it's begun, it's not just about removing tissue. It's the decision to prevent a unique cosmic opportunity for a journey of consciousness from ever happening. It's the decision that this particular pattern, this 1 in a trillion combination, will never get to experience a first memory, never get to love, never get to ponder its own existence. It is the end of a human adventure before that adventure has begun.
We have a house in Jersey. We have 2 kids, Annie and Josh. Annie's not much of a violin player, but she tries real hard. She's a little precocious, but that's only because she says what's on her mind. And when she smiles... And Josh, he has your eyes. He doesn't say much, but we know he's smart. He's always got his eyes open. You know, he's always watching us. Sometimes you can look at him and you just know he's learning something new. It's like witnessing a miracle. The house is a mess, but it's ours. After 122 more payments, it's going to be ours.
Calling this pro-choice is accurate, but it can obscure the gravity of the choice. To be truly accountable, we must frame the choice with honesty. The moral weight of ending a journey does not lie in judging a woman's freedom. It lies in the sober acknowledgement of what that freedom is being used to do. It's the decision to prevent a profoundly unique gift to the world, To be ideological with accountability is to acknowledge that you're making a decision of profound moral significance, the decision that a potential journey will not be traveled. And this isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. It's about making that choice with the full weight of understanding that you are the gatekeeper for one of the universe's most improbable miracles, a new consciousness, a new awareness. And the question isn't just, do I have the right to choose? The accountable question is, can I bear the responsibility of being the reason the specific, unique journey will never begin? Mom, what's in your tummy? That's your brother.